Hey there, it's Donna, your Columbus real estate partner. It's Wednesday again, July 8th, and I am here for week 6 of the Confident Seller Series, preparing your home for the market. The Confident Seller Series, as I've said before, this is a series that I created that goes through each chapter of my ebook, Selling Your Home for the First Time. And so I decided to do this series because I understand that consumers don't know what they don't know when it comes to selling a home. And so I wanted to, in addition to writing the ebook, I also wanted to do these video series so that I can just come to you. You can see my face and you can hear my voice. And you can just walk with me, go on this journey with me as I go through the book and hopefully bring a lot of knowledge and some aha moments to you. And how I start every week is that I go through my introduction, which comes directly from the book. So we will go through that and then we're going to jump right into this. So, introduction. Selling your home is one of the biggest financial decisions you will ever make, and doing it right the first time can save time, money, and stress. Yet, many first-time sellers do not know where to begin. So this guide is here to change that. Created for homeowners across the country, it breaks down every step in the process, from preparing your property to negotiating offers to closing the sale. This book is also designed to be timeless. No matter what market you're in, these strategies will guide you through confidently. With 27 years in real estate, I've helped hundreds of homeowners navigate the selling process, the smooth closings, the unexpected plot twists, and the joyful handoff at the closing table. What you will learn is how to prepare your home for the best return, how a realtor helps protect your financial interests, why pricing is both an art and a science, what makes a home irresistible to buyers, how to evaluate offers with clarity and confidence, and ways to time your sale with your next home purchase. Selling a home isn't just about putting a sign in the yard. It's about strategy, experience, and smart decisions. Let's jump into it. So, preparing your home for the market. Buyers don't buy houses, they buy emotion, lifestyle, and possibility. They walk in and they want to see themselves there, they want to feel themselves there. And so, preparation is about creating an environment where buyers can instantly imagine themselves living in your home. So, a well prepared home doesn't just sell faster, it sells stronger. Declutter and depersonalize. So, a lot of sellers ask, do I need to take down all my pictures? Well, it depends on how many pictures you actually have up and what those pictures are. And so, create a blank slate so buyers can picture themselves in your home. And that includes sometimes removing excess furniture, clearing off countertops, storing personal photos, collections, and memorabilia. And so the tip is, if it doesn't serve a purpose or enhance a feature, if you're ready to sell, let's pack those things up. I tell sellers all the time, once you have decided that your mindset is ready to put your house on the market, you have reached out to your realtor, you have said, I'm ready to do this. It's now time to get into a different mindset of, this is an asset that you are selling, and you need to make that asset look as good as possible to as many people as possible. And so decluttering and depersonalizing is going to be key. Deep clean everything. You lived in your home, and although you're doing your weekly cleaning or however you do that, there are times where you don't get as technical and as down into the crevices as you could or as you should. Just like, doors. You've got 6-panel doors, and you may wipe off the panel, but you're not getting in those little crevices and those creases, baseboards, all those little things that on a day-to-day basis we may not pay as much attention to, but when you're putting your house on the market, those are exactly the things that you need to pay attention to. So, a spotless home signals pride of ownership and reduces buyers' concerns. So focus on the kitchens and the bathrooms, the floors and the baseboards, as I said, windows and mirrors, closets and storage areas. Clean homes feel newer, brighter, and better maintained. So I went into a home yesterday with buyers, and I opened up what I thought was a linen closet, and it wasn't. It was full of stuff. And what you have to understand when you put your home in the market, that buyers are going to be opening up closet doors because they want to see how big the space is. And if you've decided to just hide all your stuff and stuff it into a closet, that's not a good look. Pack those things up that you're not using on a daily basis, and prepare your home to be what I call show ready. I watch a lot of HGTV, and I know every home is not going to be HGTV worthy, but you want to do the best you can to make sure that you give your home the best first impression that you can. So a clean home feels newer, brighter, and better maintained. Because if a buyer walks into your house and they see deferred maintenance, they see scratches and scuffs and just things that you felt like wasn't going to matter, in the back of their mind, they're wondering, what else did the seller neglect to take care of? It could be the fact that you haven't had your furnace cleaned, or your cold air returns and your furnace grates look, or the heating grates aren't clean. You've got dust everywhere. In the back of a buyer's mind, they're wondering, how well maintained is this house? So those are things that sellers should think about. And so the third thing is a high return on investment, minor repairs. Small fixes make a big difference in a buyer's perception. So we just talked about that. So the one thing you want to think about also is leaky faucets. Fix those things. Scuffed or painted, chipped paint. Depending on the buyer, there are certain loans that a buyer may not be. An FHA loan, for example, if a buyer is getting an FHA loan, there are certain things that have to pass an FHA appraisal or the buyer will not be able to close. Chipping paint is one of those things. Burned out light bulbs, squeaky doors, loose handles, and hardware. I was at a house the other day, and my buyers we were out back, and we were walking down the stairs from the deck, and he was leaning on it, and the post was very loose, and he could have fallen over. So those are things, again, that deferred maintenance, that when you put your home on the market, fix those things. That would have been an easy fix. But in the buyer's mind now, he's wondering, what else, again, did the seller neglect to take care of? So these repairs remove distractions that can make a buyer question overall maintenance. So 4, paint and color considerations when needed. Neutral light colors help spaces feel larger and brighter. Dark colors are always going to make a room feel smaller. So you don't need to do a full repaint, but touch-ups or a fresh paint in high traffic areas can dramatically improve your presentation. Even a small bathroom can feel even smaller if it's a dark paint color on the walls. So I talked about this last week, boosting curb appeal. A buyer is going to be looking buyers are out there driving through neighborhoods looking for houses. They start their search online, but when they're out there driving around, when they're in the mindset that they're going to be looking for a house, they're pre-approved and they are ready to find a house, they are keyed in on for sale signs. They are driving neighborhoods. Everywhere they go, they're looking for a for sale sign to see if this could potentially be their next home. And so curb appeal is going to be key, because if it doesn't look good from the exterior, chances are they're not going to go inside. They don't want to see what's inside, because in their mind, if the seller hasn't taken care of the outside, if they've neglected just regular landscaping, what have they also neglected on the inside of the house? So first impressions start before buyers walk through the door. Enhancements should include fresh mulch and trimmed landscaping. De-weeding, get those weeds out of your landscape. Clean walkways and entryways. Power wash your siding and driveways. A welcoming front door or porch. Those are simple fixes, easy fixes that will help boost your curb appeal. Homes with strong curb appeal sell for up to 7% more. So, staging, stage to sell, not to live. So, staging highlights your home's best features. So, this means maximizing natural light, proper furniture placement, creating open sight lines, and showing purpose in every room. And your realtor can help you with all that. So, stage homes, they photograph better and they help buyers connect emotionally. Because the one thing is, buyers want to be able to see themselves in the space. So, if you have a bedroom, you have a decent sized bedroom, but you've got a king size bed, you've got a big dresser, and you've got nightstands, and it's just now that big room seems so much smaller because you have large pieces of furniture in there. And it may not always be realistic to take a dresser out of a bedroom, but you have to think about how you can create a welcoming space, especially in the bedroom, for the next homeowner. And so you have to think about the possibility of removing larger pieces of furniture to make way for slightly smaller pieces so that the room feels bigger than it actually looks. Sensory details matter more than you think. So, smelling, what they can see, and the sounds, what they can hear once your house goes on the market, excuse me, and buyers start walking through there. So, I don't know how many times I've walked into a house and you can immediately smell that they have a cat. And what I realize is that a lot of homeowners who have cats, who may or may not allow their cats to do their business in the litter box where they should do their business, that smell lingers. And that's one of the things that immediately goes right to the nose and can be a turnoff. Smoke. A lot of people who smoke, they smoke in their house. And then when they want to sell it, they don't think anything about it. But what they should consider is getting that. There are a lot of things that you can do now, techniques and products that you can purchase that can help get the smell of smoke out of your house. But those are things that you have to consider. Food odors. Think about the way you are living in your space right now, and when you are ready to put your home on the market, what you can do to make that home ready for the next buyer. So again, we talked about dark rooms. Dark rooms feel smaller, so paint can work wonders in a space. So you want to use light, neutral scents, open blinds, turn on lamps, keep noise to a minimal during showings. So I've walked into houses plenty of times where maybe the seller, let me say this, and I think we're going to touch on this next week. But when you put your home on the market, you have to be ready to show it at a moment's notice. So I've had times where I've walked into a showing and the TV is still on. I guess they, maybe they got distracted, didn't realize the showing was about to happen, and they exited real quick and they left the TV on. That could be a distractor for a buyer. In my notes here, I've got keep noise to a minimal during showing. So that was the one thing that came to my mind. Pets and daily life adjustments. Again, buyers need to focus on the home. They don't want to worry about your dog barking loudly you've got him in the room and that's all the buyer hears, and it's there now they can't even concentrate on walking through the house. And I know it's not always possible to remove the dog, but if you can, you should. Hide the pet items, clean up the pet area, and then that just reduces the distraction and any odor concerns. Consider a pre-listing home inspection. I think I talked about this week 1 and possibly week 2. A pre-listing home inspection can identify issues early, prevent surprises during the buyer's inspection. It can strengthen your position in negotiating, and it reduces last-minute stress. I almost always suggest that my seller get a pre-listing home inspection if they can. If you've been in your house for 5 years or longer, I encourage you to consider a pre-listing home inspection. Well, Donna, why should I pay for a home inspection when the buyer is going to get a home inspection? Well, because you, as the seller, have decided that you want to bring your home to the market. And by doing so, you should know the condition of your home. You should not decide to put your home on the market and have no idea that your furnace needs service because you haven't serviced it since you've been there. You have no idea that your attic has lost insulation. You have no idea that your roof has missing shingles. You have no idea that there's a leak in the basement. Those are things that a home inspection can show you, and it allows you to fix issues on your timeline and not under pressure. So what it does is once you as a seller gets that pre-listing home inspection, looking at my shirt and it's a little once you as a seller get that pre-listing home inspection, that gives you the opportunity before a buyer does their home inspection to take care of those things, to take care of those items on that home inspection list so that when you bring your house to market and that buyer looks at it and loves it and writes an offer, when they do their home inspection, you've already taken care of those things that are going to pop up. 9 times out of 10, there is still going to be something on that home inspection list, but it's probably going to be minimal and it's not going to make negotiations a problem for you. So, and now you know what to fix. So again, not every improvement pays off. Know what to fix. Not every improvement pays off. So you want to avoid over customization. Don't spend money on things that you don't need to spend money on. That's not going to bring you a rate of return. That is not going to make a difference to a buyer one way or the other. And that is where your realtor comes in. They can help you with that. So avoid over customizations, major renovations without ROI guidance, without return on your investment guidance, and projects that won't increase value or marketability. As I said, your realtor can help you focus on strategic prep, not unnecessary spending. So I've had clients ask, well, should I change out the carpet? Well, what you should do is you should clean the carpet because it doesn't need to be, you don't need to spend thousands of dollars replacing the carpet. It just needs to be cleaned. Will changing out the carpet to luxury vinyl plank increase the rate of return? It's very possible. The question is, do you have the money to do that? And how much is it going to increase what you can get back? And does that balance out? Because if you have to spend $14,000 on flooring to increase your sales price by $5,000, that doesn't make much sense. Again, your realtor can help advise you on that. Photography matters a lot. Professional photography is a non-negotiable. Homes with professional photos get more online views, receive more showings, they sell faster, and they command stronger offers. I don't know how many times I have seen, you can always tell when professional photography has been taken or when someone has used their cell phone. Yes, iPhones nowadays, I don't do Android, so I don't know how the cameras are on Androids. I'm sure they're probably adequate. No offense to you Android users, but my cell phone, my iPhone takes great photos, but I would not use my iPhone to take photos of my seller's property and then put that on the MLS. Now, if I'm trying to get it out there right now before professional photos are taken, if I'm doing a coming soon listing and I want you to get an idea of what this house looks like, yes, but then I am still paying for professional photos because I know that it's going to make the house stand out a whole lot better. Preparation and photography work hand in hand. One without the other limits your results. So, final thoughts on that. Preparation isn't about perfection. It's about positioning your home for the best return. A well-prepared home attracts more buyers, receives better offers, appraises more smoothly, and reduces negotiation stress. A prepared home doesn't just look better, it sells smarter. So I'm just going to just flip back through here and just see if there's anything else I want to touch on. I think the one big thing is curb appeal is very, very important. And landscaping can be expensive, but you don't have to do a full blown digging up everything and redoing it. Fresh mulch will make the exterior pop. Hostas, some annuals, pulling the weeds. When you're walking through, you can see that the flower beds are overgrown. Take some time to pull those things out and just make the exterior of your home look great. And the reason why you want to focus on your curb appeal is because a lot of times your interior may not be great. There may be some things that you wish you could do on the interior of your house. But if the exterior looks good, it's going to get the buyers inside, and they're going to be able to look at certain things and realize, okay, I can live with that, or I can fix that in time. I may not have used that paint color, but paint is cheap. But focus on your curb appeal. Don't ever think that the interior of your house is great and you're not too concerned about the exterior of your house, because you should be. The other thing I really want to touch on again is decluttering and depersonalizing. I can't say that enough. Your refrigerators. Remove all the magnets and things on top of your refrigerator, what you've got on top of your refrigerator. Drawers, cabinets. Don't stuff everything in there to try to hide it, because buyers are going to open up those cabinets to see how much space they're actually going to have. Just really put yourself, it's last week, mindset, motivation, and money. You have to change your mindset when you're ready to put your house on the market. And you have to take your emotional feelings and your memories and all the stuff out of it, because at the end of the day, that's not what the buyer is buying. They are walking into your home, they are looking around, and they are waiting for that feeling of, yes, I can see myself here. But you want that to happen at the curb so that they can get inside and be able to take it all in. I hope that helped someone this week. I know it helped me. Preparing your home for the market. Next week, what are we talking about next week? Next week, we are talking about marketing your property like a pro. So I hope you will stick with me for this Confident Seller series as we get through the book, Selling a Home for the First Time. I surely appreciate you hanging in there with me again. This is Donna Jackson, your Columbus Real Estate Partner.